So you've done the budgeting, you've read the books, you've done the spreadsheets, but no matter what you do, money still feels really tight to you. You're not lazy and you are not broken by no means. You're just stuck in the silent, invisible patterns of beliefs and thoughts that no one ever taught you how to recognize or what to do about them. Today, I'm going to share with you why you are stuck financially and also share with you how to break free from that and start, that's starting from the inside out. It's not about the money management things like that, like we're kind of programmed to, that the social world kind of tells us is what's going on. If you're new to my channel, I am Maria Condi. I am an empowerment coach focused on money, manifesting, and all things simple luxury, ease, flow, financial independence for women. I like it to be easy and enjoy life. And I love some simple luxuries too. Can have it all. With that, let's dive into today's topic about getting you unstuck financially. So, like I said earlier, a lot of people think that it's about money management, that you're not doing the right things. And it's not about the doing, it's about your energy attached to your money, your beliefs about money, and how you're showing up as a person in regards to money. Often we're carrying old stories that we don't even recognize, that weren't even, it's not even how we even might even believe now, but we've been programmed from a very, very young age. And that carries through our whole adult life with us. As I've spoken many times on this channel, we have, when you learn those things when you're young, like before 5 years old, your brain works to validate those through your whole life. And until you give it new, new belief, it's going to continue to do that. And until you change it, you're going to have that same pattern going over and over. And this is mostly subconscious. Consciously, like, I don't want to be doing this right now, but I'm still doing it. And your body swings back into these patterns all the time. And there's a lot of mechanisms in there why. It's a safety mechanism for you. It keeps you safe. There's a whole bunch of things attached to that. We're not going to get into a whole psychology lesson today. We're here to unpackage some of this and get you moving forward with your money. So think about the things that you've sort of believed in. Some of these you could have acquired throughout the time because of those beliefs too. Things like, I'm not good with money. I'm always in debt. When I first started my money coaching, a couple decades ago, it was focused around women in debt. And it was something that people would believe that they owned that as who they were. But you're not your debt. You are somebody who is, it's your behaviors and that your actions. It's not you. You are perfect who you are. You are worthy of having as much as you want. So going back to that, I'm not good with money. People like me don't get rich. You might believe that it's not available to you. That was one I had to work on quite a bit, actually, because I didn't believe that a lot of money was available to me. I had a ceiling that I was hitting all the time. If I have more, someone else will have less. And we know that's not true because money is energy, right? There's an abundance out there. When we think about health, we don't say, well, I'm going to have less health so somebody else can have more health. No, you want as much health as you can have, right? No one else is going to have less because you have more. Same with money. Another one is um, being in the survival energy all the time. If you're one that lives paycheck to paycheck, you live in a constant stress all the time, and that's not good for bringing money to you easier, and it's putting you in a sort of lower vibration, which makes it harder to have money come easier to you. You're deflecting it. And you can't dream and build from that space necessarily. And here's another big one, which I don't talk about a lot, but it's huge. And when I was putting this together, it's like, I recognize myself, like, this is me, right? And you're outsourcing your power. You're waiting for the next raise. You're waiting for the tax return. You're waiting for someone else to save you. And I hate to even say these words. I don't like using the word hate, actually. But there's a lot of women out there that want to be rescued, that want somebody else to save them. And you know what? I've lived there at different points in my life, hoping and wishing for someone to just come along and save me. But I'm a powerful woman. I can save myself, and I've proven that to myself. Might not feel like that when you're starting out. And you always have this belief that when all this happens, I will feel free. But we got to flip that around because it's the opposite, actually. So that's part one. That is the silent traps that are keeping you in struggle mode. Part two is the shift. So this is moving from fear to confidence. You have to get out of that fear space that there's never enough, that you're living in that lack space all the time. That lack space is holding you down there. When you believe it or when you think, have thoughts of lack, you're going to create more of that. If you have lots of thoughts of abundance, knowing the world's always got your back, that's going to happen. That's going to be what you're putting out there. So first up, awareness is everything. As soon as you're aware of something, you can actually start changing those patterns and those beliefs and start working with it and unpackaging it more and more and more. So take a journal and hop in there and say, what is the oldest money story I could remember being told? When I'm working with clients, we do some journaling, but we also do RTT, which is called Rapid Transformational Therapy. And it is rooted in hypnosis, NLP, CBT, and it helps you go deeper through hypnosis to figure out what those stories are. And then we rewire them to, we put in new belief systems for you in that process. It's like a 1.5, 2 hour session. Sometimes they're even longer than that. But this is how I help clients unpackage those and move forward. But journaling helps too. Start with where you're at, right? And so that's never, the awareness is everything. So just listening to me. The next time you're out and about, you're going to be saying, "Oh yeah, that's what she was talking about." You're cluing into these things now. You have to be confident before the numbers change. You have to be the person before that person shows up. You have to be confident with money to have confidence with money. And how would you behave if you had an abundance of money in your bank account? You wouldn't be stressed. You wouldn't be freaked out. You wouldn't be panicking. You would be saying, "Oh, I got money. Things are good." We need to shift that to over here where you are now to say, and I do this when I've had some tight situations, and my tight situations are usually because I'm trying to invest in something that I'm very risk tolerant, so I can put myself on the edge sometimes. Um, Sometimes I get, to myself, it's like, okay, but I always know there's more money. I always know that I'll be okay. And you know what? Don't listen to what I just said on that. That's me and my risk tolerance. There's a lot of people that are risk averse and that just horrifies them. You need to know how you feel about risk in your life. So, take that carefully. But for me, I have a different viewpoint on that. So I can get myself into some tighter situations. And then I go to the space and say, okay, this has always worked for me. Believe, and I know myself, I can always make more money. It always comes to me easily. I manifest easily. So I'm a little more confident in those situations. But until you um, practice that a little bit, and those things get bigger and bigger and bigger, that's why I can do some of those things now where you have to practice this. Confidence is a muscle that you have to practice and grow. It doesn't just show up all of a sudden. You do something really small and then you get more and more and more. In my Bloom membership this month, we're going to be working on starting with manifesting and starting small and going through the process using something small to start that confidence cycle building out. And part three of this little section is start making decisions from where you want to go, not where you are today. So if you're an entrepreneur and you want to have this big, massive company, don't be making really small decisions today because you're going to have a small little company. If you want a big multi-million dollar company, you need to start showing up like that now and making those decisions based on that. And yes, sometimes some things you have to start smaller, but you're gonna have to push through those pretty quickly if you want that really big company. And I do preach a lot about small steps usually get you there faster, which is true. And so you need to know how your own psychology responds to different things. For people that take too big of a leap and then crash and then give up, that's not serving them. So those smaller steps are better for them. If you are somebody who can take that leap and it doesn't work and you figure it out and you take the next big leap, that's great. Then you're aiming for that really high space and you can probably get there a little faster. But that's you have to know yourself, and that's awareness. Part three, the missing piece for financial independence, is a little bit more of what I just said, is if you want, you have to be it. It's not about doing all the time. It's not making sure you're doing all these very specific tasks with your money. That's important to do those things, but how you're showing up in your belief system around money is number one. You can't just do your way to having lots of money. You have to be that person that behaves like they have lots of money. They're okay. They allow it to come to them. And you have to, everything in my Bloom membership is more, it's about being. It's not about the doing as much. It's about being. Whether it's the money, the mindset, the confidence, empowerment, it's all about the being. Being, not being, Bean. And when you start doing this, when you start showing up and switching your mindsets, things start getting easier and easier and easier. When you live in that lack space, if you don't shift that, you're just going to get more of that. I feel like I'm preaching to the choir sometimes, right? Because I know I speak this a lot and you know that, but we don't always act on it. One of the things I love to say in my membership, and one of our phrases that we talk about often, is why is this so easy? When you say that, when you come up against something, instead of looking for how hard it is and why there's no money and yada, 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 like tell yourself all these stories. Why is this so easy? Why does money come to me so easy? Why does my paycheck always last me? And why does my paycheck always pay all the bills I need to pay? Why do I always find great sales on the things that I want and need? Why do things align up for me in such a perfect way? Whatever it is, switch that around to be positive for yourself. Ask yourself how it can, uh, to say, why is this so easy? When you say those words in that specific sentence, your brain looks for the path to validate that. Why is this so easy? Well, it's because you showed up and you did this. It's that easy because you believe that it can be easy. You believe that you're worthy of having all that money. That's why. And if you tell yourself, why is this so hard all the time? Your brain's going to try and validate that too. It's going to find every reason why, and it's going to validate it. You don't want to go there, right? You're trying to be abundant, financially independent, flow, ease. That's what we're after. Okay? There's where we're going with that. So, awareness is huge for all of this. We have all those silent money traps that are holding us back in that struggle space. I'm not good enough with money. I don't have enough money. People like me can't get rich. Um, if I have more, someone else will have less. Getting out of that constant low grade stress. Get yourself out of there. Awareness is key with that. Don't wait to be bailed out. You are the only person that can help yourself. It's great if you have some of those wins, if you have a lottery here or there, you get an inheritance or you get a nice tax return. Those are really sweet when everything else is just flowing properly. It's not a way of bailing you out. And then it's easy to make financial decisions because you're not making it from a place of lack, you're making it from a place of abundance. And then that's when the doing comes into be to actually start compounding your money. So when you believe it comes to you easily and you have more come to you, you can start investing in better ways. You can start doing better things with your money. And that's how things start compounding. And there's a saying that says the poor get poorer and the rich get richer. And it's actually very true because poor people or people that don't have, live in that space of lack have those mindsets that they can't have enough money. It's not available to them. and they live in that space constantly. Somebody who's wealthy, somebody who has an abundance of wealth, does the right things with it, which makes more money, which creates more money, and they believe that they're going to be successful no matter what, which creates more money. And those rich people do get richer, especially those self-made people. So with that, I know you want to be in this space, and it's going to all start with awareness. So with that, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. If you've enjoyed this content, and you want to listen to more of it, like, subscribe, share with people. Tell me in the contents more things you'd love to hear from me, because I'm always looking for ideas on things that we can expand on in here. And with that, I will talk to you real soon. Have a great day, everyone.